Welcome everyone to the 335th weekly MLP Drawing School live critique stream. It's August 2nd. Just let that sink in a little bit. August 2nd.
I don't want to think about. At least, we don't have to go back to like grade school or high school, and it's not. At least that's not a reality we have to face.
Fair, yeah. You know what? That is looking on the positive here. We don't have to go back to school. Hey! We got a micro slice of our group today. We got Alley Claw.
Hello.
We got Withered Pixie.
Hey, what up? How you doing?
And there's a Vex hidden in the background drawing lovely pictures of deers.
Poor deer. Send extra kneecaps to the deer. Patellas. Go to McDonald's, get yourself a pack of chicken nuggies. That's like what a patella looks like. It's just like the chicken McNugget of the knee. Just send them to Vex. They need some more.
You make it sound so appealing.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, when I was in high school, that's the only thing I remember from like studying bones because the teacher was like, the patella, the chicken McNugget of the knee, and now it's forever in my head.
Brilliant.
How many people tried to eat a knee that day?
We need statistics. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Vex, did you lock your layer?
Someone locked my layer? What?
I think Vex did lock their own lair.
Assign layer to anonymous. Yeah, no, I can't unlock them.
LD, take over the layer, unlock it, and then give it back to them.
Okay,
Yeah.
own layer.
Dice. Yeah.
Wait, what? No, why did it relock? Unlock layer.
It's cursed. No. I can't access it at all. It's all
The
gone.
up
Oh,
up
the opacity. There it is.
yeah, the opacity lock, and then give it back to anonymous.
Assign to a lovely little panda. Drop panda.
Yep.
You're free. You're free, Vex.
There's the lock next to the opacity, and that's probably what happened, Vex. The dang little opacity lock.
Rude. Sabotage.
All right, first picture up. It's by Too Many OCs. Been a while. Hello, it's been a while since I posted here. I've really been trying to work on my art style, shading, shaping, and whatnot. I'd love some critique on this drawing. Thanks in advance. Yeah, it's a cutie.
Cute. First of all, cute. That's all. Let's just gotta get that out of the way. Gotta say it because it's cute and it's
Look at
adorable.
these ears.
Cutie patooties.
Questions from you. So you were saying you've been working on shading, art style, shaping, and that. But what sort of challenges are you running into? What made you want to post this picture on the subreddit this week? What things are you trying to push in your art? Where are you trying to go with your art? We love these types of questions because it helps us direct you better. So please ask questions. Also, critique other people. You get to start asking these questions of other people and helping you build up your knowledge base. It's great. It's a great thing. Trust us. We've been doing it for a very, very long time.
Too long, some might say.
Longer than some users on our subreddit. Like, there's probably people younger than how long we've been doing this on the subreddit. I just want that to sink in.
I don't want to.
The subreddit's almost 12 years old now.
That's insane. Oh, anyway, sorry, we're reminiscing, but this is really cute, and I think I was briefly before this looking through your post history, and I definitely do see improvement here. And I love the push for the shading you're doing. I think it has some very nice texture, especially in the clothing. The face structure has definitely improved, saw a lot of that change. And the glasses are really cute. I think you did a great job on that perspective. Maybe like a little bit just nitpicky thing on the glasses. Just be careful. I feel like the farther away one is a little too small. But it's not not game breaky, but just because we wouldn't have that big of a perspective difference because they're right next to each other on the face. Usually more extreme perspectives will have the more dramatic shifts. And yes, the person drawing in yellow, is that Vex or
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to touch on is that right now your hair feels like it's just like a thing sitting on the head, but these lines Vexer drew, it's really important to consider that the strands come out of the head. They don't just sit on top of the head. So you'll have a lot of creases, you'll have a lot of movement, you'll have a lot of directionality. Even with like these fun little flicky curls you have going on, they still have to come from somewhere on the head to make it feel nice. And also up top here, even if you wanted like a flatter head surface, uh, you can go up like that and have really nice fluffy puffs, or you can have it cut into the head a little bit. There's many ways to experiment, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
hair out from head, not on top of.
Yeah. So, um, something that I would recommend taking a bit of a look into if you're looking to kind of level up your shading or whatever is something called hue shifting. And if you go to our site, which is mlpds.art, and then you go to the beginner guides, and then there'll be a link there called hue shifting. And what it means is, so this is the lit area. This is like a shaded kind of an area, but all of this is in exactly the same place in the color wheel. It's the same kind of story for the lit area of kind of this pink, and the shaded area of this kind of pink. It's all in exactly the same place in the color wheel. Whereas what you can do is you can decide the color of this light. So let's say that this light up here is a bit more of like a yellowy color. It's a light yellow color, or maybe it's the sun. Who knows? But the cool thing is that if you decide on a color for that light source, then as you get into the lit areas, you can. Let me adjust my brush, make my brush a bit bigger. You can adjust the hue to move towards that light source. So let's move this up towards a bit more of the reds and the pinkish kind of space. We can make that a little bit more. Why not? Oh, maybe not that much. And then as we get down into the shadows, let's move that away. So more into the blues, so away from that yellowy kind of light source. And it doesn't need to be a lot. It can be pretty subtle. But the cool thing is that the more you do this kind of a thing, the more it'll look like your light sources actually kind of impact the colors that you've got and all that kind of thing. So let's do it the same thing up here. We'll move this up towards the towards yellow, so this is more in the red zone now. And you can see it's a very subtle change, but like even like up here near the tip of the ear, you can already see that kind of yellow influence on the colors there and how it like impacts things. And same story down here. We'll move that more into the pinky kind of space. Maybe make it a little bit darker, why not? Yeah, and with that you can just see the like kinds of light to dark, how it looks a lot more natural because it's got that kind of impact of the light color in there. So that's a good way to kind of improve your sort of shading and make it look more realistic and all that sort of stuff. Something else that can be really cool for this sort of like blushy kind of thing on dark characters. Something I like doing is I like when I do the shading. Oh my gosh, all of my brushes are messed up. I like actually doing like a darker color for the blushes and stuff like that. But that's just something to mess around with and have a bit of a shot with. Can be fun instead of going for that pink. But it's all up to you. No stress. You can see Vex has pulled this neck down here, so it kind of has this sort of shape. It's good to whenever you have these kinds of headshots, it's good to kind of trace out like where the center is. Like for example, center of the head here kind of goes up and around here. You can have this go here, and the cool thing is that you can this point here you can align that to wherever the center is. And then if you really want to go crazy, there are, so if you look over at this picture, you've got like these kinds of lines on the neck, and that's just kind of a bit of like the shoulder muscle sort of coming up. So on these, if you decide kind of where the center is, you can have those same kind of like lines kind of like start to come in here and here, and that can look really cool. Can help kind of make things look a little bit more anatomically whatever.
All right, shall we move on to our next lovely picture?
Why not?
Woo,
All right.
really great work. Keep it up.
Yep, we love it.
So this middle one is by Your Local Candy, and it's first time in 2 years I drew on my drawing tablet, and I think I succeeded quite well. But what do you think? Also, some info. Her name is Hazel Blossom. She's 19-year-old and lives in Ponyville. SE makes stuffed animals for work. I also thinking about. I was also thinking that I could sell her someday.
Hell
You
yeah.
want to sell the horse?
Yep, on the black market, boom. You saw the incredible red thing swooshies here. And they were great.
I got
Rewind the
overzealous.
video.
I was just gonna quick do it again since I was silly and did it while we were doing the other one still. This horse, first of all, is great. I love the energy of the pose. I love that you have the hooves doing different thing, and even the front hooves, I like that they're kind of together. It's kind of like that like juxtaposition of like together and also apart with the front and back hooves. It's a fun little flow going on, and also like with the flow of the tail coming around like that. I love that. The thing that sticks out to me is that the anatomy kind of got a little hard, and I know the back legs can be especially tricky sometimes with how they bend and fold, but I think it's really important to remember that everything is connected, and everything does change when it stretches and folds into itself. So right now we have this hoof or this whole leg here. It's more so drawn in a way that just feels like it's attached to the butt, so it's like almost like coming out on its own to the side here, which isn't what we want. It's a part of the pony. So luckily with back legs, we can kind of follow the back itself because they kind of go into the spine here. So in all reality, these muscles, these bones will be kind of going in parallel with the back and coming around like this instead of, just out to the side like that. Um, and because so we have the butt here, and it might seem like a really weird and challenging angle, but sorry, I just have so many lines. Let me make it a little clearer for you. So we'll come up, the knees will come up like that, and we'll have the hoof outstretched. Now, the key part here is that because we're really squished into the body with this back leg, it's going to be squishing into itself. Oh, I bumped my eraser. It's going to be squishing into itself. So we're going to have kind of like it come up here, like that. And we get this nice little fold into itself. A lot of overlap happens when things squish into itself. And it's just something to be wary of, to consider, because this will all be connected. We got the bone, the bone, the bone. Other technical terms like such. And because we're at like such an extreme angle, we won't have like the butt come around like this. You have this nice little line, which is beautiful and wonderful. But it also then pours into the other leg. Now, the issue with this second leg is that this knee kind of it kind of got lost in being a knee. We want it to connect to the body again, just as our top one here. So, and we're also stretching. That's another major difference. We're not all folded up like the leg up here. We'll be stretching. So that knee will not be as round. It won't be as bulbous. It won't have that sharp little bump there. It'll be stretched out in order to adjust for the whole leg being stretched out. So we might have something more akin to this shape. It's a little more noodlier, a little more stretched out, not as much squish. And that way we get to see the full length of the hoof as well. So you won't have, despite what we see in the show, where it's kind of like a very simple, like that's the hoof they give to us in the show. There's a lot of change in the positioning of things when things move and stretch, and everyone over here is drawing like beautiful little diagrams to demonstrate, and it's good. They're wonderful and they're fabulous, and I really hope they help demonstrate, because that's the kind of stuff you gotta look out for. But yeah, that's the biggin that sticked out to me.
Yeah. So let's take a bit of a squiz just at this. It's good to keep the different areas kind of separate. So let me get the opacity right. Yeah, there we go. So what I tend to think about whenever I'm like sketching ponies is I think about this kind of torso area as one thing. Boom, that area as one thing. And then I think about the kind of top hooves, and then I think about the bottom hooves, which includes this like distinctive like thigh area. And when you're drawing exciting poses like this, it's really hard to keep all of these separate. But this center part, like this torso kind of area, it's especially important to make sure that that's just to make sure that you kind of keep that as one area and it doesn't like blend into everything else too much. Because keeping it separate is just helps your pose be more understandable and stuff. Now, what I've got down here, let me choose a different color. Yeah, same color. Sure. There we go. So here is like two thighs, and this one is all scrunched up. You've got this big the thigh area is all scrunchy, and the sort of hoof is also scrunchy at the same time. Because that's what happens when everything scrunches up. Everything's going to end up looking all scrunched. Because all of the everything is like pushing everything into bunches and bundles and stuff like that. But if the leg is like big and extended, this thigh area is also going to be extended. It's not going to be all like scrunched up because they're trying to elongate the leg. So that's how I think about it when I'm trying to like think about like hooves like this and how they look when they like really extend out and how this one looks when it like scrunches up and all that sort of stuff. It's fun to mess around with. But I really like how this area like up here looks. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
if you look at Proco, they have a video on YouTube about the bean, and what it is it's basically like around this torso shape in people, and how, for example, how you like represent people who are like twisting and turning and all of these sorts of things, and all this. So you can, yeah, good old beans. You can have a bit of a look at that, which can help in terms of making this torso look like it's twisting and all that. Uh, and this sort of a poses is where uh, life drawing references can be like really, really useful and really interesting. So if you go onto line of action, just Google search it. Line of action actually has an animal drawing tool where you can choose, dogs, cats, equines, whatever, and just get a sort of stream of pictures of, horses and cats and dogs and all sorts of animals that are like, up in weird twisted poses that you need to kind of show off and all that sort of thing. Whenever I'm like having trouble, not even having trouble, whenever I'm like trying to represent a pose like this, I always find it useful to pop on there and, do 20 minutes of just like sketching some different poses to see what happens.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But good job, because it's an exciting pose. Most
Mhm.
people, when they sketch, just don't worry too much. They're just like, yeah, screw it. We'll have this, and then we'll just have this, and that's enough. But no, you've got like these two hooves kind of coming into one point, which is interesting, and then this one extended this one there, which is interesting. So good job.
Yeah, I think the only like last nitpicky thing I can think of at the moment is for your color palette here. This color is completely lost with the white background. So I would just
Hmm.
either encircle all the colors some way so that they, have clear borders from everything. Like you don't really need to worry too much with these guys, but if you want to make it cohesive across everything, like maybe have like a border around them or just choose a different backing color than this white.
All right, shall we move on to our next one?
Little bug friend.
Little face. Aw.
Adorable.
Yeah, let's move on. Good job.
Yeah.
All right. So our last one submitted this week is by Lone2719. Trying to work with more mediums outside of digital art. Any tips? This is
Great
cool.
job.
Hell yeah.
Love it. Yep.
We were trying to figure out what type of paper you're using, and as far as we could tell, it's either like a cotton or some type of acrylic sheet, like acrylic painting sheet. Really interested in what you used back here because it looks like it might have
Mm,
caused some challenges for you just based
Mm,
on the texturing and the fact looks like you're using marker.
it's an
yeah,
interesting one.
I didn't want to assume too much, but if you do happen to be using like a really absorbent watercolor or multimedia paper, marker isn't too great to use on it. You obviously can, and I'm not trying to discourage you not to. But that's why you get a lot of this dry kind of brush going on with marker because the ink's just being absorbed into the paper and the marker cannot get out enough ink to properly cover everything because this paper is expecting like water to be on it. So if you do want to continue with this, I do recommend there's like marker papers you can look into. There's a bunch of different paper specific to marker or even stuff that isn't as absorbent or grainy can really benefit a marker drawing.
So with this front leg, what you can do is up at this like shoulder area. What I like to do is I like to have it like kind of come out a little bit because up here you've got like a bit of like a shoulder muscle. So making some space for that is just looks usually pretty good. This back leg, what I think I'd do is either let me just erase all this for a minute. What I do with this like back leg is either have it come the other way, have it bend the other way, or have it do something like boop, 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 like they're kind of stepping forward a bit. Look at my amazingly drawn paw.
I love them.
Whenever I'm thinking about like positioning the hooves and all that sort of stuff, I tend to think about the opposite hooves. So front left hoof here and back right hoof here. They're probably gonna end up in like similar kind of places. So let's bring those a little bit closer together. And then the back left hoof and the front right hoof, you can have those kind of extended out. If you sketch a lot of like animals, you'll tend to find that like a lot of the time the diagonal opposite paws or hooves or whatever are doing like similar kinds of things because it helps with like balance and all that sort of stuff. But I love it.
Hmm.
It's really cool, like colors all the way through. I like it.
Hmm.
This like dry brushy kind of thing can definitely be an effect that like works if you're after it.
Really
I think
love.
something.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go first. You got a good
The
compliment.
the white that you've done up here with like the acrylic pen works so well with it. And you have mostly captured that light source is working. There's some points around the crown that don't quite make full sense, but overall, you've done a pretty good job. And I know, I mean, with traditional, there's no Control Z, so you lay down those lines, you lay down those lines. So you've done
Yeah,
a very good job with playing around with that medium.
it really like up here on the closer wing, those little like white uh, sort of streaks at the top really help separate things. It looks really good.
Yeah, you even get like a few more like along the ear top here. I feel like anywhere that's like open to the sky because it feels very much the light's coming just
Mm.
directly above them. So anywhere that can kind of get a little hit, like even the tail a little bit maybe. The one thing I was gonna ask or talk about was I wasn't sure if this picture was taken a picture of at a really tilted angle because this feels very odd perspective wise and also odd direction walking wise. It just feels very extreme. Like the fact that the butt is almost at the same height as the head, but the neck is still up straight. Um, so if it is really, really tilted, I might even, since you're taking a picture, you could have it, you could shift it, boop, make it so it's a little flatter. Something else you could do to assist it could also be to add like some form of drop shadow underneath them. And I think that
Mm.
also helps it solidify it to a ground. Because the other problem I saw when looking at your picture is seeing kind of the like the perspective of the feet were kind of hurting because I
Mm.
look at where all the feet are positioned, where this back foot towards the back leg, this one, is at the same line as the front leg. So that's essentially those two legs crossing underneath the belly of your creature. And you won't really see that often looking at animals. They tend to, even humans as well, unless they're doing like a silly walk. So that could be something to look out for. Generally speaking, like Pixie was talking a bit about it earlier, but we can kind of place everything down into a box and be like, okay, the back leg will touch down here and the front leg will touch down over here. And we can use that box to really like lay out the perspective of where everything touches. That way we don't get instances where things kind of feel confusing once we're touching a surface. Because that's the other thing. When you're drawing something that's touching a surface, it's really, really helpful to be considerate of that surface. So, like I said earlier, adding some form of drops to shadow for them to stand on can, one, cement them to the page, but also kind of cement the pose itself. They won't be floating. There's more stability there, and the character actually feels like they're walking rather than just kind of existing on a void. Because if you're going for like a walk, you want the character to feel like it's walking, and usually when you walk on something. It all kind of builds and assists each other.
Mm. I drew a little like this, which is like it feels like the character's straight, but yeah, it's all good. We don't want them to like fall on their to like fall on their face and stuff because that would be like hurt. So
Yeah, it's also something like that's another a whole other topic, a whole other beast for, well, I guess it happens a little bit in digital, but taking pictures of your traditional art and the composition of not just the art, but the picture you're taking of said art. There's a
mm,
lot to play into that as well as um just, taking a picture of the art because there's a lot to go into it for sharing your art and all that stuff. It's
mhm.
something to consider for next time because we don't need to worry about that right now.
Yeah,
Heck yeah,
keep it up.
we love it.
And I love that you're playing with different mediums. Trying
Hell yeah.
everything is always good fun.
We
Yep.
were also super admiring. I thought originally all the logos for the different art websites you post to were like you kind of put that over top afterwards when you upload it to the computer. But then we zoomed in and saw they were all hand drawn, and I was just like, this is amazing. That the extra
Yeah,
touch of hand drawing each logo. Wow.
we love it. Great.
Hello.
We're live
We're
right now.
still on stream. All right. Any other comments on this one?
No, good job.
Hell yeah.
Good job. I drew a little thing down here, which is like whenever I'm like looking at these like top downy. Oh, sorry. Whenever I'm like looking at these kind of poses, I do like drawing out a little box, and then let's have the body and this. Let's have the body and the head, and then kind of deciding where each hoof is going, so we can be like, this hoof and this hoof. Let's put them closer together, so put where they're going to fall, and then we can have this one and this one kind of further away. So let's kind of see what they're falling on the thing, and then I can use that as a little bit of like a reference when I'm like looking at the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like it's very, very common. Most artists hate this far back leg because it's impossible to position because it always wants to be at a weird angle, or like when you sit and think about it, it's like, oh wait, I put it over here, but it needs to be over there, and then you have to figure out how to make it look right from over there. It's a challenging one, so don't be
Mm-hmm.
discouraged by it, but the art does start to feel better and better the more you attempt to make kind of like not realistic, but like more footfall that kind of falls in line with how it would actually sit.
Mm-hmm. The good thing about traditional is you can either use pencil to sketch out planning shapes and all that sort of stuff, or what you can do, what I usually do is I'll just get like a yellow marker, like a light colored marker, and I'll just do all of my like planning sketches in that like light color thing, and then when I come back over and I like draw the actual you know actual shapes, those like planning like lines, they just kind of disappear into the background, especially as you like go do your like darker and darker towards more final kind of things. So you can use pencil for your sketches and your planning shapes. You can use like light colors, so they just disappear and aren't as visible as you add like the more final colors and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, good job.
It's a
Track of small
lovely
things.
picture.
Hmm.
I also love the I don't know what medium you're using or what brand you're using, but the colors are so very vibrant. So you got yourself like something with really nice pigments in it.
The tail, I really like how that was done.
Yeah.
Good.
Good arts. Good arts.
Ooh.
Oh, hello,
All
too
right.
many OCs.
Hey. So we actually already finished your picture, but oh, do you have
Oh
any
no.
specific questions for us about your piece?
Which one was this?
The
That was
first
the
one.
first one, yeah.
First one.
Because we could answer those while you're popping in here.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we chatted about the shading and
The
the
hair
hair.
and the
Yeah.
glasses.
Love it. Good. Perfect picture.
Most importantly, we chatted about how we saw so much improvement. Like, it's really nice stuff.
Well, they were not happy about the glasses.
Oh no. Do we want to move back over to?
Yeah, we finished the last one, so let's move back to the first one.
So glasses are always like a weird thing. I think whenever I'm trying to draw glasses, I always think about kind of uh, like just planes, just like a rectangle, like a perspective-y rectangle thing, and then I can kind of use that as my like base for the glasses and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, the best thing to do if you have a character wearing glasses is probably just to get yourself into a similar kind of position with your phone camera and just take a picture of yourself and then kind of use that as reference because glasses are really hard to position.
hmm And something else I'll add, if you're doing this type of glasses, you're working digitally, so please don't be afraid to use circle tools. They are
Mm,
there. They are appropriate for art. They are no difference than a traditional artist grabbing a compass and making a perfect circle that way. It's absolutely allowed, and I highly encourage it. If because I the one thing I do notice is that your line art is very nice, it's very clean, but then I zoom in on the glasses and there's a lot of like bumpy edges kind of all around it. So I think something that also can help with those glasses is to use the shape tools you have at your disposal, especially since they're very stiff objects to begin with. It's always good to know how to draw a circle, and I always encourage people to practice their swooshes so they can make lovely, lovely, wonderful circles. But tools are not bad. Please, please do not be afraid to use.
or else.
Well, yeah, I don't even think you need to for something of this where it's a 3/4, maybe facing a little bit more towards a front facing shot. I don't think you'll have to worry about too hard of a perspective difference with the glasses. At
Mm,
least size wise, it's more going to be about twisting the lens, like the Starcast Ellipse said that it's going to be more of a change in shape rather than a size difference.
mm. It's whenever I uh look at like this kind of thing, a good thing to think generally, if you don't want to worry too much about like perspective-y sort of weirdness, is the width of the far one, of the far like glasses, should be shorter. So shorter width, but you can keep both of them the same height. So same height, but shorter width. But I think that advice was mostly for the eyes. But glasses are the same as eyes, aren't they? Why not?
You can play around with them. They don't need to be scientifically correct. What
Mhm.
matters most is how it looks on the face. I know I like to excuse my poor little doodle here, but I like to really emphasize uh the difference of like where the eye sits and the glasses sits by having it like pop a little from the cheek area, so it feels like it's on the face rather than connected to the face. So you might still see like the headline, especially from something at this angle. Mhm. It's a little harder when you get to the yeah. Uh you get the little shitty eyeballs in there now, so you can see it. They've seen too much. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
You got any other questions for us on this one?
We love it. It's a good picture.
Hmm.
All right. Anyone else have any other questions on any other art? Oh my gosh, there's so many things going down here.
Oh no. Nah. The circles. Circles. Oh, big blushy. Big blushy circle. Always eat your vegetables, aka draw your circles. Your swooshies.
Yep.
All right. Well, then we're going to call it a day. Thank you all for coming. We'll see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.
But